Foundation Course Kabbalah, Part 1, Lesson 14. Rabbi, Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. Text. Inner purification. The truth is, when man has his true wish, he will receive the help from above. What is the help he receives? He will be showed on a certain moment he isn't okay. Thus, he will receive thoughts and knowledge that are against the spiritual work. This is only happening to show him he isn't completely in oneness with the Creator. And the more he tries, the more he will see. Constantly, he's much further from holiness than others who are feeling themselves in full connection with the Creator. This is the writing of the son of Yehuda Ashlag. I will explain it to you. The first condition is the true wish. The wish has to be completely. The intensity, Kabbalah, of the wish is very important. In a way, this is the first demand you need to receive the help of the higher strength, the true wish. Look at the next sentence. Do you see the controversial? The help will be that one is showing him he isn't okay. Is this help? We want to be sweetened and not to be showed that we are further away from our goal. Only in the spiritual this is possible. You can't do this because you aren't corrected yet. Because of this, you see this as something controversial, but seen from above, it isn't. Try to see it this way. From above, they are sending you help. Help means from above one is showing you aren't okay in that moment. Text. And he receives the thoughts and the knowledge from above that are against the spiritual work. This seems so controversial. You want to be helped from above. You want to receive the strengths. You want to hear that everything is good. You want to be stimulated, and now you hear that you are far away from the spiritual work. Why? The first sentence makes already clear. So you will come to the true wish. You don't have the strength. You are unknown of your true wish. That's why they show you from above. You have still shortness. Till the moment you will receive the true wish, only the true wish will be answered. Text. This is happening for you to show him he isn't in complete oneness with the Creator. He is showing you that you aren't in conformity with the higher step. The Creator is the absolutely unselfish, poured out into the universe. Let us look at this in another way. What or who is the Creator? The Creator is every higher moment than the level I have in this moment. The Creator is always on a higher step than the step I am in this moment, no matter the moment. Each step I can't receive, where I lack the strength, is for me the Creator. Till the moment I become aware of this step and start to prepare myself for the next one. So for every one, the Creator is another step. Be aware it is the same Creator. For Him, everything is eternal and unchangeable, but not for us. For us, He is every day different. Our awareness is changing. That's why we experience Him all the time in a different way. When you're learning the Kabbalah, each day you receive another image from the Creator. The Creator is my own awareness on every rough, higher step. Do I need some resistance for the Creator? Each step is within me. It is mine and it belongs to my inner strength. To experience the Creator belongs to the work of the inner strength. The work I do every day again to develop myself for the next step. That's the Creator. When you can see and understand this, it is impossible for you not to justify Him. It is something from me. It isn't something outside me. It isn't important how He looks. It is all about how I experience Him. It's all about my conformity with His qualities. And when I have brought my qualities in conformity each day a bit more, I become higher on a new step and I experience the Creator in a new way. Text. And the more he complains and tries, the more he sees constantly he's further away from holiness. This is how a Kabbalist is acting. He hears others say they are filled with his love, but a Kabbalist feels a shortness, strange, controversial, Why? In our world we have right and left, but on the higher level there is unity. This is the contradiction. When we try to understand something from the spiritual world with our earthly intellect, contradiction will be the outcome. Then we experience the contradiction. Help from above exists, only this help is the showing one isn't okay. And for a normal person, this isn't help. The earthly person, and above all the Western man, wants a straight answer. He's asking only, give it to me. Give at me. But in the Kabbalah, we are the one who have to give, and have to come in conformity with his qualities. This is quite a job. Text. And he's complaining and can't justify the behavior of the Creator considering him, and this is hurting him. Why isn't he in oneness with the Creator? In his awareness, he sees he's lacking holiness. And even when he receives some awakening from above, an awakening that is feeding him, he falls down directly. The higher, the closer a person comes to the Creator, he demands more and more, and he is capable to demand from the Creator. The Creator is a higher step than the level of this moment. I'm working. I feel myself connected with the higher step, but I haven't received it yet. But I feel the connection, although a little bit, therefore I feel I may demand more. I want to climb up higher and higher. I want to experience, to become aware. I need this to know this step. Knowledge is experience, but something with our mind. And when I feel this, I know I may demand, because the Creator is the higher step. In this new level, I also have the desire to become one with Him. This is the Creator. It isn't important what other people may think. There, don't interfere with others. It is all about your experience. It is you, yourself, who has to come nearer to the Creator in your special way. You have undoubted another picture of the Creator. It is your next step. This is the wish that have to be within you. You're longing for a merge with the higher step. To merge means you understand, you comprehend. Then you know how the qualities in that step were where you had longed for. You feel the life, you experience, you understand what you feel. This is the meaning of merging. You understand the next step. But you have to know, for everyone it is the same ladder, only the experience of the ladder is special, related to the experience of every person. Text. He always complains. Now you know, the Creator is the next higher step within yourself, a piece of your inner. And it's a piece you don't understand yet. There's no experience, therefore you can't justify. We are the last generation before the coming of the Messiah. This is the time for the revealing of the language. The next step is a piece of my inner that has to be brought in conformity with the light, the new step. Therefore we demand and complain because we want to come to the experience. When you're sensible, you can justify Him. The problem is, one doesn't justify, and what's more, he makes other images, idols, etc. But it is a piece of your inner. You don't have experience yet what wants to be justified. And this is where you're so afraid from. And of course, it can be terrifying. In early days, it was all covered up. And now you want to experience and to feel it. It feels like a heavy cloud or as darkness. Why? You don't have the strength to experience this small piece of your inner. Therefore, always justify the Creator because you are striving for the highest step. You want to merge with Him and He's helping you. Always justify His help. You only can go higher when you have the experience. The higher step is only the experience of the Creator on a higher level than the level you have now. Do you see how simple it is? Now you know what you have to do. Always justify your condition, your situation, because you are striving for the higher step. And as soon as you have arrived at this level, there you will feel darkness. And once again, you have to start with the justifying. And again, there's the complaining and the demanding because you want to go further and further till you have achieved the higher step, and the story continues. You start demanding because you have the taste, the higher step. Now in the spiritual, you will be helped because it is His wish that you will come to above. First there's the taste and then the growing. You will go higher and higher. This is the real growing. You come closer and closer to the Creator, and each time you will meet Him in every new step. When you just start, he looks very severe. That is to say, only in your eyes. But in truth, he is stimulating you. He is helping you for it to come higher. And when you come higher, no, he's changing too. That is to say, in your eyes only. Now you're the one who see other qualities in him. Therefore, you may demand because you have done a great job. You have brought yourself in conformity with a part of him, with his qualities, and you want to taste more. You want to grow. Therefore, you may demand. You are the one who's coming higher, and there is no longer loneliness. Loneliness, that is you and the new next step. You can't stay in the former level, but you lack the strength for the higher next step. And now you feel this new step. The new step is calling you. Come to me. Come to me. But the problem is, you don't know how. You lack the strength, therefore, you have to be very sensible and to justify this feeling because this higher new step is part of you too. Not that there is somewhere something like a God. Not here or there, but within you. What we're learning concerns only the inner, your inner. To know God is to become familiar with your inner. You only have to deal with your inner and not the image made by the outer being. You have to deal with your own progression, your own goal, to come in conformity with the light. The light is shining to you from the front as a new higher step. The light is winking to you, and the more you learn about the control system, you know how it works, and when you're in the situation to open yourself for what can come to you, now you can come to the experience because you know how it works. This is the work you have to do, step by step. When you have shown you are capable for this work, the Creator will give you work to do, but only when you have shown Him you're capable. This is how it works. With our earthly understanding, we can't justify the Creator. Do you know why not? Our earthly understanding sees everything as contradiction. Remember the words the Creator spoke to Adam. You may eat from all the trees. Eat all the fruits except one. And the snake, that is our earthly understanding, sees this as controversial. The snake doesn't see the difference between one tree and another tree. When you try to come to the understanding with your earthly mind, when you want to understand the spiritual with your earthly mind, it is certain, for 100%, you will have problems. You will never come to the understanding. It's only possible when you go beyond your intellect, meaning to not decide with your earthly understanding, your selfish mind. When you go beyond your earthly understanding, you will be brought from one step to another. The Creator takes you on His wings, meaning he who is striving for the spiritual will have the feeling of merging together with the higher strength. And this gives you the feeling, if you are carried on wings, that you are carried on the wings of His providence. The earth is Malchut, the severity, and for you there is no longer the misery from the earth. Text. And this is hurting him. Why isn't he in wholeness with the Creator? So he can have the awareness he has no holiness within him. And even when he receives encouragement from above that feeds him at a certain moment, he feels he's falling down immediately. Look at drawing 14.1. 1. I observe as I. There is an experience from mine I, me as a person. Above myself there is the Creator, the higher step within me. Everything that you're learning is first of all considering your individual inner. Even when we speak about the outer, we speak about your reaction, considering what is happening outside of you. As long as you're criticizing the outer, you are acting like a child. This is no subject for investigation because you never can know what is really happening outside of you. Know that everything that what exists consists of two elements. Everything has an inner and an outer. The outer is the part you can see, but know this is only a reaction from something from outside of you. This we call subjectivity. It is us who are changing. It is our reaction coming from our own awareness system, and this will always be subjective. Therefore, it is not subject of our study. Science only keeps itself busy with what is objective. At least they think, but contrary. A scientist observes another way. He measures certain strengths, certain vibrations, but everything indirectly. The Creator you experience is only the higher, the next step within your inner. The Creator is the light, and we aren't interested in how the light is formed from the outside. There's no interest in me to know how the Creator is from the outside. I have only interest for how to come in conformity with Him, with the strength, with mine higher step. The image of God, the Creator, can't be measured, and no, it has no sense to talk about. We can only study that step we can experience by way of our senses, the receptacles that are our receivers. When you hear or read the word Creator, no, we are only meaning the outcome of the light, considering myself, mine inner, due to the next higher step. Why can't there be a justification considering Him? Each one of us is building up the going beyond the feeling. The feeling where am I? We are all building something like an upper building. Look at the drawing. There is something what is above me, and this is between the Creator and me. I'm fine, I'm good, and there's something good within me. This is the affirmation used in the alternative circuit. But is it possible to say that I have something good in me? A person does feel himself better than another person, and this is the speaking of the ego. Everyone is so sweet. You're suffering together with the community. Absolutely. But we're working on ourselves. Of course, you can have sympathy for another person, but you have to see him as a whole being. Then you have man. And when you have man, mad will come down. But first you have to work on yourself, and later you can sympathize with the community. And when you're going to work in this way, you will be of greater help than only the raising of funds. Of course, this is necessarily too. It has to be done, but it doesn't mean a thing as long as you don't work with and your inner. As well the physical, as well the spiritual has to be involved. Only the physical won't work, and you have to become aware of this. So now, you can do the man, and because of the man, mad comes down. This is the true help. Become aware of this. Don't help another person for the reason you want to feel good. Bring yourself in conformity with the laws of the universe. This is important, and will be seen from above. When you give, you have to give from the inner. When there is only the outer giving, it won't do a thing. Don't think you are doing well. You haven't done a thing. Become aware of this. For instance, you give someone money and you feel good from the outside. No, this giving has sweetened your thoughts, but you haven't done a thing. It is utterly worthless. It is only in your imagination. You think you have done a good thing, but you have to know there is on earth no person who had something good within him, and such person will never come. You have to know what is good. Good is the quality of the absolute unselfishness that exists forever. But why do we have this feeling, or why does it seem someone is doing a good thing? Let me try to give you an explanation. For instance, I bring myself in conformity with the qualities of the universe, and this is good. This is the absolute unselfishness. And now, I have come in conformity with this quality, and I'm capable to receive this good. Is this goodness mine? When I feel myself good, I receive. Is it mine? You can compare this with a person who is working in a bank or in a shop, and during the day he receives a lot of money. Is this money his? All the good we receive is given to us because we are doing the work. We are bringing ourselves in conformity with the laws of the universe, the true unselfishness. Each step is more unselfish than the former step. Each next step is closer to the light, to the eternity. Therefore know, when you want to give, first you do your job within, and do this always. What is this job? Become aware nothing belongs to you. When you're still thinking it is all happening because of you, you are playing with yourself. You won't gain a thing. Wherefore do you give? Only when you give in the right way, meaning it comes from within and not from the outer. It comes from your unselfishness. This is the true giving. The Creator doesn't help me. I do a lot of work, but still he isn't helping me. And this is due to the concealed wish, or it is not my true wish, which means the right intensity, the right amount. It has to be pure. Only when the wish comes from deep within, it may become the true wish. But first you have to come free from your own love before you can come to the true wish. I have a wish shortness. I want to connect myself with the next step and it isn't working. Why not? I'm too lazy, or whatever thought may come in your mind. Most of the time people are doing it in this way. Between themselves and the light, they're building up an idol. Some image, some god, or whatever name you want to give. The problem is they don't announce their selves directly to the light, to the only creating strength. When you're acting this way, you can't see well. Of course, you may feel yourself good, but you have to know that the powers coming to you aren't from the right and true source, meaning the light himself. And instead of aiming myself directly to him, meaning to give the prayer, the man, the female waters to him, I am myself at something different and not to the higher step, to the good, what is within me. What I'm doing is to give something a certain value, and this gives me strength. The expectation, the reward gives me strength. Each one of us may have a wish, but it isn't your primary goal. You have to strive for the only true higher step within you. Don't ask for sub-goals. Of course, it isn't forbidden, but you have to ask for the higher step. Only from this new step can and will come the light. We're learning the Kabbalah, the structure of the universe, and the structure of me. I start to justify the higher strength within me, although it is still unknown, or maybe I can feel it a little bit. And through this justifying, I get rid of the idol I had within me. I throw it away because this idol is hindering me. Now I am myself to the created strength, the manifestation of the higher step. Now I can see who's really good, because now I know that he is good and does good. Only the light is good. Now that only the qualities of the absolute unselfishness are good, only this is good, and nothing or nobody else is good. And as long I have the conviction that someone does do something good, I start to make an idol. I'm playing a role in some sort of comedy. Never let other things be the objects of your so-called true love. Know that magnetic force is not love. Love only belongs to the created strength, because this is the source of our life. When you're doing otherwise, you will come to a deep disappointment. Everything what is outside of him, everything you give, your attention, your love, isn't coming from the true creating strength. Of course, you may marry, have children, and so on, but all the people who are striving for the earthly love will come to the deepest disappointment. When you love the Creator, you can marry the biggest outlaw and be happy. Why? You will be happy because you are one with the one creating strength, and not depending on your earthly partner. Know that whatever you are putting between you and the Creator is hindering you. At this moment you won't see this, but you have to know that you're calling to someone you have put between you and the Creator. When there comes misery and you open your eyes and you ask for help, you want to direct yourself to the Creator, then He says to you, you have someone else. He is your idol. Go to him. You don't have a relation with me. Go to the person. You have to know this. The one who is in contact with you will reward you. When this is an earthly being, know you will receive little, although you may think otherwise, and you stay weak. Whatever happens, know to whom you direct yourself. When there's a problem, to whom do you direct yourself? Who is going to help you? Then you start crying, while the problem was, and you weren't directing yourself to the true source. And this is your mistake, and all of us are making this mistake. But when you throw away all the idols you have, your heart isn't longing anymore to them. You will see the Creator, and the Creator means your own higher step. For instance, you're standing on the 5th, and you want to go to the 6th. That is the Creator. What is unknown to you is the Creator. Every higher, considering the lower, has more quality of unselfishness. Everything what is in conformity with the laws of the universe has more light, has more life in it. The more a person can give in the true way, as we have told above, the more he will be grown up. When a person is still incapable to give, he's like a child. We stay like children when we can't give, when we are still in the aspect of jealousy, when you're pleased that another has more than you, when you're pleased that another has more than you have become a grown-up person. To be a grown-up person means to grant, even your enemy. When I take away all the images, the intermediary between the Creator and me, then I can see the truth, the true Creator. The truth in the Creator. When we are talking about Moses, Moshe, we're talking about strength and never about a person. Never has been there the intention that you should idolize the person. When you idolize Moshe, you do the same as with other idols or intermediaries. It is all about to build up strengths within you and to come in conformity with those strengths. The intention is to bring you in conformity with the strength of the prophet. The name is the naming of the understanding, of your comprehension, but it has nothing to do with the person himself. Moshe is a level of a higher comprehension, is a higher step. Moshe stands for someone who has come close to the Creator. Therefore, do remember, when we talk about Moshe, we aren't talking about a human being, but about the level someone has reached. You have to know this by heart. It doesn't matter which intermediary you ask for help. You don't ask directly at the Creator. Keep this in mind. Always direct yourself to Him. Then your true wish will be revealed and filled. Suppose from now on you delete all the intermediaries between you and the Creator. What follows? First you had the thought you were good, but now you looked at above and there's no one. There's nobody between you and the Creator. Now you see the next higher step. Your intention isn't to point out on something what is outside of you. Everything what is outside of you can't be comprehended. Of course, I see, for instance, a plant. I know the name of the plant, but do I know the plant? Can I say what the plant really is? I know its qualities. I know if the plant smells or that it is poisoned or not, but that is all I can say about the plant. It is the same with Kabbalah. Only what we can comprehend, we can give a name. That what I experience, understand, comprehend, I can say I know it. But when I say with my earthly understanding that is this or that, this isn't real. When I'm doing something with my earthly understanding, no, this isn't the real learning. There are very few people who can do otherwise. A great person is to be recognized through his fingers spitzingful, or when you have no longer an intermediary. You no longer count upon an idol or someone, something else. It is you and the Creator. Then you see your ego. You see the person who you really are. And when you're conscious about your ego, and this a very great level, and this is my wish, that all of you who are reading this will come to this awareness. When you still think you have something good in yourself, or you think that another person is good friends, etc., you're acting still as a child. You have to come to the moment you haven't anything before you. Now you can come to the experience of the next step within yourself. And when you have come to this moment, you will experience something great, something marvelous, and like to go on. And you'd like to go on, but you haven't the strength to achieve the next step, although you are striving for it. This is the moment you have to know. The striving and the work you do. That is the path leading to your higher step. The striving is the path. And then, undoubted, when there is no longer an intermediary, you also can look to below, and what you see is your ego. You notice that the ego is very powerful, has all the power. It is the Pharaoh within myself. The ego, the Pharaoh, is so strong that with your own strength you can't have victory, and this is the moment that the higher step is waiting for. When you see your ego is very powerful in every step, and that ego is beholding you for to go forwards, like the Pharaoh that didn't let go the people of Israel out of Egypt. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Only then you can see your ego, and then the 10 plagues will come. Wherefore, it is the ego that has to receive the 10 plagues. It is to say the 10 sfirot. The 10 sfirot are the 10 plagues. How? When you go beyond your earthly intellect, each time you go beyond your understanding, your ego receives an enormous blow. But never break your ego. A new blow means the ego becomes smaller, quieter. The blow the ego receives is necessarily for you to become smarter than the ego. In a way, when your ego receives a blow, this means you are cheating your ego. You give something small to your ego so the ego is now satisfied, but you bring yourself to the good. The greatest part is for you. And when you act in this way, the ego receives a blow. This is what we mean considering the blow. Therefore, Jacob had to cheat on Esau. Esau was the power for it to receive, and Jacob is the altruistic strength. And this strength seems weaker considering the egoistic power. And with weaker, I mean the strength of Jacob isn't based on the earthly intellect, but always goes beyond the understanding. When one goes beyond his understanding, he can say, "What is going on? Don't eat from the tree of knowledge. Look at the tree. No, look at the tree. How beautiful, but don't touch it." He can say, "No, it's prohibited. I absolutely have no understanding why it is prohibited. I can't understand it with my earthly understanding, but I go beyond the understanding. I do this or I don't do it, but whatever is the case, I go beyond my understanding for to fulfill the wish of my higher steps. The higher step is mine, and when I bring the higher step within me, in conformity with the light belonging to the higher step, then I go beyond my understanding, and this is the first condition for it to grow in a spiritual way. Why? A higher step means a higher measure of giving. You may come in the situation, you will see things others don't see. From within, you come to the recognition, and this is what matters. Two people can sit next to each other. One does see something and the other person don't. Both experience and see differently. Both experience their own reality. Each person lives in other worlds. Therefore, always justify the Creator, and this is only possible when there is no one between you and the Creator. Do you still remember? There is none else beside Him. And when you have come to the deeper understanding of this sentence, you have come to a deeper part of yourself, your inner, the part you haven't experienced yet. Each day, you will meet new things. For the Creator, it is always good, but in your opinion, in your awareness, it will change all the time. You know, you will never have a dull moment with the Creator. You think you already know something, but with the Creator you will see, again and again, new observations. Each day you will experience new strengths, new understandings. Question of a student. How do I know if I'm dealing with my ego or with the Creator? And the answer of Michael is, there is an easy way to remember this. When you do something and your body likes it, or it says to you, do it, it is good for you, then this means you are wrong, meaning you act according the wish of the ego. When you do something and your body likes it, it's satisfied. You're satisfying your ego. But when you want to do something, a certain inner movement, and together with the inner movement, or together with the outer moves too, your physical body, your ego isn't happy and doesn't like it. It says no to you. It's saying to you, you can't do this. When there is the nagging from within, you become nasty. Then you have to know, this is the thing you have to do. Therefore, when your body says it is good for you, most of the time the ego is speaking to you. When your body says don't do this, it doesn't feel good, know the Creator is speaking to you. When your body is telling you don't do this or that, you have to be alert. This body doesn't want to do this, then you don't sweeten your body. Now, it can't receive. Later you will feel more and more, and you will become more conscious. It is you who's developing yourself. You can compare this with a scale of Richter, the scale of the 10 Sefirot. On our earth, we see 10 rankings or 10 shakings. You have to develop in yourself the feeling of what does a shaking mean for you. When you feel a shaking, know that your ego is telling you to do this or that, or don't do this or don't do that. Always look within yourself and try to see who's talking. When your body is talking in favor for itself, it wants to be sweetened, then you have to know who is the one who gets satisfied in what I'm going to do. By learning the Kabbalah, you can come to know that when your body is satisfied, you're working for the ego. When you feel discouraged, it needs a lot of effort. There's no understanding. You don't understand a word of what you're reading, then it is good, meaning you are climbing the ladder to a next step. When there's understanding, you are sweetening your body, your ego. Behold of this. It is easy and at the same time very difficult. You have to know when you live a good life, you will receive signals from within, and that is the moment to be very alert. You are the one who's building up your own scale of Richter, and it is you who have to stay, or who have to say, I go further and further, and tomorrow I climb up another high step. Don't wait, don't postpone till the other day, because if you do so, you will fall. Don't wait till the moment you have fallen and then cry. Your cry has to be before the fall, and you can do this by learning with your inner, by recognizing your inner, how to act and react with your own inner. How the Kabbalah teaching is building up. First part is the part of the inner, building, and in the second part we learn how to awaken from within the feeling, how to come closer to the higher step. We will learn the structure of the universe, how the Creator had made this. I still talk about the beginning, and maybe you think there's no progress or progression, but you have to have the feeling. When I'm telling you about the mechanism of the light, it will be of great help for later. It will become easier for you. Therefore, I have to repeat, and I do this as much as possible. I stay longer in the thin area, and later on I will slowly descend to the world where we are born. We will feel the earth, we will feel the pleasure, and we will like it to be here. But this is for later. Be patient. First, there's only the light. And we already know the first act of the Creator is his withdrawing from a certain place. This place stays empty. Without light, this place the Creator created for to give light only now is in the form of direct light, or yashar. First the act of withdrawing, and then a new form of light, the direct light, or yashar, and the round light, or makif. First we have the round light, because the round light comes before the direct light. But what is round and what is direct? The round light is the light every living creature receives. All pleasures, all good feelings are everywhere and for everyone. The round light gives pleasure to every side. But the Creator had made a special act for the human being. Only the human being can receive, beside the round light, the direct light. But to receive the direct light, one has to do something extra. I make some restrictions for myself temporarily. Still, I have the strength to receive higher light. A light more intense, what has a higher intention and is coming from above and isn't around me, but it is from above, the direct light, or yashar. I will explain it to you again, but now more specific. First, there was the unrestricted light, the Ein Sof. Everything what did exist was Ein Sof. Then the Creator withdrawn himself, and a new empty space were there. In this was room for the creation. Afterwards the light returned back, but now as a very thin ray. How is this ray formed? First of all, there has to be a process outside creation that had formed this ray. When we say that everything what is outside is Ein Sof, it has no borders, and then suddenly the light returns in the form of limitation. The direct light has limited itself. This light had to be formed beforehand. Before the light entered the empty place for what would be the creation, The light had limited itself in 4 specific phases. 4 phases means, first there was only his essence, unknown, something we can't understand. Then from his essence the light came from the Creator, the light Ein Sof. The light Ein Sof is endless light, but it had to adjust itself in what his plan was for to create the creation. Of course, in itself there's no limitation, but for the favor of the creation, the light wanted that he should be known. When there should be nobody who should know he is good. It was and is his wish. We will come in conformity with his qualities, so we can come to the experience of all the good he has. This was and is his goal, and not our personal goal. His goal is what we live in eternity. Of course, we have to eat and drink, etc., but it is his wish that we keep ourselves busy with the act of creation, considering the Creator. This is very important. We have to come in conformity with him, considering the act of creation.
Foundation
First
course
the essence
Kabbalah,
and then the Ein Sof. But the Ein Sof had to endure 4
lesson
stages before it could
12.
enter the creation.
Rabbi,
The first phase is Ein Sof, Keter.
Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar.
In a way, Keter isn't the level, but
There's a
light.
very important principle.
He wanted to come
Everything
in
what
the
is simple
creation.
is
It
genius.
was his wish.
Real
the light
and true.
should enter within this
When
place.
it becomes complicated,
The thought about
know the
what
truth is
could
disguised. What is true
First we
is
see
simple,
Keter and then Chokmah.
easy.
Chokmah is the first roughening of the light.
We
Keter is
continue
transparent, and Chokmah is the
with
first
the book
receiver,
of
meaning
inner
the
purification.
Chokmah becomes
On
rougher.
page 6 we see
First,
the
there has
structure
to
of
be
the
the
human
coarsening
being.
before
We look
the
at the
creation
human being
can be
from
created.
above to below, but
Chokmah
it
is
is
a
also
coarsening,
possible
and
to look
then we
from
have the
below to
following
above.
coarsening. Bina.
The drawing on
Each
page 9
sifra
shows us the structure
has
from
certain
within to the outside.
qualities that
What is
are
within
specific
is
for its
what
own
is
level.
within is
And-
higher with respect to the outer. We see an inner circle.
And then we have the next
is higher.
coarsening.
What is higher?
Anpin, or Ze'ah.
With higher we mean
the
closer
last
to
is
the Creator,
Malchut.
closer to
And
the
Malchut is
light,
the
more
future
delicate.
creation.
Lower is closer to the Malchut.
And what I have mentioned
The
above
lower
all
we
of
come,
this
the rougher
is
and
named
further away
world.
from the Creator. Everything,
Olam.
what is
World
within
of
is
infinite.
higher,
In
closer
the
to the
world,
goal.
Ein Sof, infinite light.
On page 7 we
all
read,
these phases are
"It
only
is
coarsening.
said,
Everything is
there
coarsening,
is
and everything
none
receives
else
only from
beside
the
him.
Ein Sof, the infinite light.
no other
These are
strength.
stages of the forming
This
of
is
the
a
light,
principle
and
you have to
directing.
remember.
4 stages.
Will you
We
progress?
don't see the Keter as a
This
phase.
is something that has to be in your
that are
heart.
coming
And
first
when you have
before the
accepted this,
forming
you
of
are
the light
halfway.
that will enter.
There is none
afterwards.
else
The Creator had withdrawn him
beside
back.
him.
From Keter to
You
Malchut,
can know everything, but
consists
when
of
you
these
lack
5
this
phases.
understanding, this principle,
When we
nothing
name
can
this
help you.
Sefirot,
This
from
sentence
Keter
belongs to
Malchut,
Yehuda
know they are
Ashra.
5.
He who is working on himself,
Malchut is the
he who is
creation,
doing the
the
spiritual
future
work,
creation.
has
These
the
4
feeling
stages
he's
before
falling
the
down
creation
constantly. He
was
feels he
created
lacks
isn't
the
the real
strength
creation, only
for
a
his work.
preparation of the Ein Sof
We read,
for to create the Malchut.
and it isn't enough.
It is all about
He's
this. Everything is
going
needed
forwards
for
in
to
his
create
work.
the Malchut.
He sees he's
Here is
going
the place
backwards,
for the worlds
and he
we are
hasn't
going
the
to study.
strengths
But
for
we
to
will
do the
speak only
Torah
about
and
the
the
coarsening,
prescriptions,
about the quality
with
of
the
coarsening, because
intention
this is the
for
only
himself.
thing that we can learn and talk about.
Especially when one starts,
nothing in
this is a common
What
feeling.
doesn't
These
exist in the
opposites,
special, but our
strengths
study
are
is
fighting
only about
within
the
you
direct
for
light,
to stay alive.
and not about the round
In a
light.
way, you're
The round light
taking
hasn't our interest.
away the
Of
fertile
course,
ground
we will
for
talk
the ego.
about it, but not.
But it is a
Kabbalah has
mock
no
fight.
theory, because theory
When you're really
doesn't exist.
victory,
You have
your
everything
selfish
within you.
love will be
It is
gone.
you who's going
Lessened,
to experience,
and now
because it is
there's
all yours.
no longer an
You will
obstacle
feel
for
the
you to
strengths
come in contact with
that are
him.
within you. You will
Or in
give
other words,
everything
you will
a
see
definition.
more and more your
When we
inner
talk
being,
about Bina,
and you will keep yourself
you
more and more
will
busy
know
with the inner and
what is
not with the
Bina.
outer. When we first started,
You
it
will
seems as if
experience
there is no
what is
progress.
above or
You think
what is
there is only
Keter.
descending and no progress.
Your own inner
And
is the
he
object
doesn't
of our study,
see the
and
end
that
of the
is what
situation.
we will learn. There
But
can never be
don't have
an
a desire for the
understanding
end.
in what or
Just
who
continue.
the Creator is.
You have
can
to
only
work
come
and
to the
make
understanding of
stronger your
yourself.
belief
Everything
beyond
I'm
your understanding.
going to talk about.
This
the
has to
drawings,
grow.
etc.
Only
You're the
by
one who have
going
bring
beyond the
them within
knowledge
you.
it becomes possible. But
There
this
can
is
only
very
be
difficult.
learning when you
We
have got
have
it
to
within
have
yourself.
faith. Only then there is
The light had
progression.
withdrawn itself.
We have
and
come
this
to the
light is
awareness
named the world
only
of
the
limitation,
Creator can
or
help.
in Hebrew, Olam.
This is hard to understand. What we want to understand with our intellect is difficult.
Olam means world.
Why?
And Tzimtzum is the limitation.
We see the contradictions
of
hidden in the
limitation.
spiritual, and
From the
with our
first
intellect we don't
beginning,
understand
we
them.
see it.
Our intellect is the one who
We
says
see it is
all
this or
about
that.
limitation.
Only when we come on a
When a
higher
person isn't
level,
prepared
we can
from
unite
within
them.
to limit himself,
Good and
he
evil
can't
will be
see the
united
light.
on a higher
Only the
level.
round light he
First,
will see, because the
one
round
feels
light is
misery
here
and
for
has a
every-
feeling he can't
for
do
every
anything.
living creature.
And this feeling
We're
becomes
talking
worse.
about direct light.
Where from
This
does
light
this
he
feeling
can't
come?
see. Limitation
From the
means you
Creator.
take
It is the
distance
Creator
of
Himself
your
who
own
is
love,
sending this to
because
you.
only then
It is
you
to
can
say,
see what
only
is
in your
outside
opinion,
you.
you think you are going
The
down,
direct light
but
is the
for the
subject
Creator
of our study,
Himself,
and we are going
you have to
study
know.
the
He's
world
bringing you
of
closer to
limitation
the goal
also.
of creation.
Look
Each
at the
person
drawing.
has to
The little
come to
dot
his
is our
deepest
world, our
disappointment
planet.
before he can
When you
stand
look at the
up
drawing,
and
you
see
see the
only
earth
the
and
Creator
all the
can
levels
help
of
him.
strengths.
For every
In our
person is
world, we are
necessary,
working with
he goes
all
through this
laws of
process.
nature.
It makes him stronger.
Look how much strength
Only
there is.
then he can
But
come
without your
to the
fulfillment, you
aspect of
can't
faith
come to the
beyond your
experience of these
understanding.
strengths.
And this is the true
Otherwise, than to experience them.
When one
first
wants to be
within
full
you.
of strength, he
The
does
light
do
had
everything
itself
on his
withdrawn,
own.
limited itself
Look,
for it
for
to come
example,
back
to the
within the world
politician,
and to
etc.
come in conformity
The
with
Creator won't
qualities of
reveal
light.
Himself to
This
them.
means we are learning
Why not?
His control system.
They are already strong. They don't need help.
The
So
first
why
act
should the Creator interfere with them?
within the world was
The
the
Creator
withdrawing of
helps
the light
him
and
who is
making of the first
In a way,
limitation.
you have to be
Simpson.
weak, porous.
Now you can see
Then-
the first stage of our
then the Creator
correction
can help
has to
you.
be limitation too.
Who else?
Limitation means to
The
limit
Creator
all your wishes.
should give.
Without the limitation,
Only to
you
them
can't
who
and
are
won't
weak.
experience
Only
life.
them
There will
He
be
can
no
give the
experience
spiritual.
outwardly.
What do I
Your
mean
first
with weak?
act has to be
I mean
limitation,
weak from the
temporarily,
inside, from
because
them
you
who
haven't
can
the
make
strength
themselves
yet
small,
to
tiny.
receive the direct light.
Weak means to make
First,
yourself
the limitation
as an
each time
intermediary,
every day.
to
The
make yourself
faster,
transparent
the
for
more
the
intense,
spiritual,
and the
to
more
make
complete
yourself
you can
empty,
limit your wishes,
receivable,
the sooner you
receptive.
will receive light.
Then the spiritual can and
Therefore,
will
try to
come
limit
you.
yourself as much as possible. Your wishes temporarily.
What are you
will
learning?
See how fast you
You
can
learn
go.
to make yourself from within
and you will notice
small,
this isn't the fairy tale.
for the only
It is
creating
all about
strength, the
limitation
King.
of you.
Only the
This
weak
limitation
ones
is also
do need
valid
the
for
King.
your
The
earthly
King
wishes,
gives
or
to
better
them
to say,
who are weak,
especially our
the same as
earthly
we
wishes.
see in our material world.
When you are a
You
smoker,
will receive
try to
everything
limit
as long as you
yourself
stay
in the smoking.
faithful at the King.
And when you're a drinker,
Why
limit
is there
yourself
misery?
in drinking or whatever?
Because
it is
you are feeling yourself strong, and it is all about
when you can limit yourself
to
in
feel
these
yourself
wishes,
weak
you will
from
notice
the
it has
inside. And this is only
outcome
possible when you're in
in the
pain.
spiritual too.
This is
It
misery.
also has an effect.
Real
on
misery
the
is when you
inner,
hold
and
up
will
your
receive
hands to
light
the sky
from above.
and have the
Light of
feeling
light
there's no
is
one
there for you to be
who can
received.
help you.
Not
Of
later,
course, to other persons
Not
you are
hereafter.
still strong, but not if you
Here
want to
on
stand
earth,
before the Creator.
when time is
Then
ready.
your power has to be gone.
The light of life
Feel
is the
yourself
light
weak.
of
It is
Chokmah,
your rescue.
or Chokmah. And
Weak
limitation
from
is
the
needed
inside.
to receive
When you
this
stop
light,
fighting,
or
when there
Chokmah.
is no longer any resistance,
When you
it
have
has
finished
to
this
happen
reading,
from the
start
inside.
to work on
Everything
yourself.
takes
Begin in a
place
simple
within
way
you.
to limit your wishes.
Text.
First, begin
And
with the
this will
small
bring him
wishes.
to the feeling
And
in the
more
heart
work you do,
that he
in
is
a way you're
in
building
need
up
of the
strength for
Creator,
to limit
will
the
open
greater wishes.
his eyes
Good
and
luck to you all.
heart, so now he can come in truth to his goal, to come
Drawing
in unity
14.1
with him
Phase 1,
forever.
the forming of an intermediary between
Read every
the inner
word
of the human
carefully.
being
First,
and
there is the
the only
acceptation of the
created
feeling you
strength.
have to make
Because
yourself weak
there
for
won't
him.
come
And
real
this
help
has
from
to
above.
come from you,
And it
with
is
all
man
your
himself
heart and soul.
who
You
is
have to
the
be aware
cause
of this.
of all
Not saying,
this misery.
yes, I do. Without
Please
your
refer
heart,
to the drawing and the
this
the
has to
written
come from
materials.
deep within. You have
The
to
only
feel the
creating
power of
strength
the
equals the
opposition,
source
not
of
only
life.
simple faith. And think, oh yes, I will be saved.
And please refer
When
to the
there is
drawing
no
of
preparation,
14.2,
when you have done nothing, you won't come
showing
to the
the
true
worlds.
faith. You won't receive the real strength. It has to come from your heart. The desire has to be felt deep inside of you. Only then the Creator will notice you. Who can do this work? The one who aren't Jewish, they can summon up all their strength. Not the Jewish people. This has already been written in the holy books. Therefore, what is happening those days, it is good. It is already written in the holy books. The non-Jewish people will receive the strength. But first, there has to be the necessity. And the Creator will open your eyes and brings you closer to His goal. What is your goal? To come in unity with Him forever. What does this mean, unity forever with the Creator? Then you can't sin. What is sin? Only when you do something that separates you from the Creator. You sin when you separate yourself from the source of life. When you have the feeling you are lonely, you are separated from the source of life. Each feeling of loneliness means you are separated from the Creator. Don't think when you keep yourself busy with the spiritual, the feelings of unpleasantness will disappear. You have to know this. When you feel yourself lonely or miserable, you already have sinned. Or in other words,
You are lonely because you are without him. Because when you are with him, there is no feeling of loneliness or self-pity. Do you see the difference? Keep yourself busy with the spiritual means directing your prayer to him, to the only creating strength. What is prayer? When you pray, you have a feeling of oneness. Why do you need that feeling? So now you can come to live in the moment. There is a momentum of merging. You feel you experience the only creating strength. In a way, you are on the same wavelength. You are merging together in the same wavelength, and then you will be written in the book of life. What is the book of life? Don't think we are talking about a book as we have in the material world. Feeling the merging, the moment of unity with the one creating strength, that is the book of life. When you feel alive, when you are lonely, you have gone too far. You have been separated too far. And in this we see already the world of sin. Separation isn't good considering the Creator. When you have the feeling of separation, you have gone too far. Remember this. Ask the Creator for help in time. Text. In this you will come to the recognition all the separations you had felt are coming from the Creator. Not because you weren't okay or you haven't the wish for it to overcome, but you have to know the real help is there only for them who has the wish. The real wish to come closer to Him. He won't be satisfied with little. He wants everything, and it isn't His wish you stay as a stubborn child. Therefore the Creator helps you, so now you can't say there is so little in the Torah and in the prescriptions and all the good deeds I did. But still, I'm missing something. When you feel pushed away, know it is the Creator who's working with you, not because He wants to tease you, but for you to come closer to Him. Deep within us there has to be the wish, this wish for to near Him. Then He will near you. There won't come any help from above when there wasn't first the question, the wish from below. Remember this. Bring this in your heart. The greater your wish, the greater the merging with the Creator. You have to come to the experience. There has to be the engraving, and time by time you will learn on the exact moment to handle, to cry out His name in time. Your prayer has to be on the right time. First, the Creator let you fall. He wants your heart completely. He doesn't take no for an answer or maybe. Therefore, can have the feeling the Creator is beating you. But what do you do with the moments of pleasure? Are you crying out for Him then? No. And the consequence is you are standing still. Remember this. Each time the Creator is showing us a little piece of our ego, our uncorrected part. So now you have the work to do. This is the work we have to do. What you are doing as a job for a living, it is for the outer being. And of course, this is necessarily too. But the inner work is the most important work you have. What is this work? Each time you have to make corrections from within. It is the instruction from above. Each person, no matter where he comes from, has to work on and with his inner. No person is free from his job. Be happy, and when you feel lonely, you have work to do. The Creator is there for you to help you with your corrections. When you run away, you won't reach the goal. All the unpleasantness is your rescue. He doesn't leave you behind as a little child, as some without knowledge. You feel shortness. How can you bear this? By making yourself small, tiny from within. And you are doing this only for Him, for the Creator. When you feel yourself strong, and He is strong too, what is happening? Two powerful strengths are coming together and they reject each other. The light can't come in, only by making yourself as a limestone. Do you still remember? Only when you are as wax, the light can enter. Who is the resisting one? Your own self-love. Your self-love closes your heart from the inner work. The one who are strong have the most resistance, and that's why they become ill. Why? For to break down the resistance, therefore, he receives the help from above. So now he can't say the Torah and the prescriptions and the good deeds are with the Creator, and he's lacking something. You receive all the help from above only when you feel one with the King. You will receive His strength, and He will lift you up. The only thing we have to do is to obey. his laws. Therefore, we are learning the laws of this mighty King, the only creating strength, who lives forever. In a way, we are all participants of this one King. When you come to this understanding, to see and accept this, you will come to experience him. No one, the powerful he may be, can't escape this or deny this, but he, she, who is reading this, is far closer to the Creator. You are doing this on your own strength, but this is the wish of the Creator too. We are all servants of the Creator, but he who is working on himself has more freedom in his work. All those powerful people, the world leaders, they fulfill his wish as a blind person. They are as puppets on a string. But we are looking, searching for to come in contact with the creating strength. And this is what we experience, what we feel, the coming in conformity with the only creating strength. And we aren't longer wandering in this world. You are experiencing his strength, and you see his good. You can see the good in his strength because you are one with him, one with the creating strength. So now you can go everywhere because this feeling is within you. Wherever you go, you will feel the connection with him. This feeling comes from deep within you, and you know by making yourself small, tiny, you won't lose it. Don't judge about yourself. Let the Creator be your judge. When you give in the right way, you will receive tenfold. The next subject is Tes. This is an abbreviation for Talmud Eser HaSfirot, or the teaching of the 10 Sfirot. And we name this Tes. Tes is the teaching of the 10 Sfirot. Feel the radiation coming from this work. Tes consists of 16 parts, and this writing is a commentary on the three of lives, on the tree of life, the famous book of Ari, consisting of 2,000 pages. First, you have to become used to the language. The translation is literal, and when time goes by, you will come to the feeling. Tes is not a learning book, but a guide, a reference book to come to a better understanding of the Zohar. Therefore, we start with this book. The text of Ari is bolted. When you read these words of Ari, even without understanding, an enormous light will be coming to you when you make yourself small. Ask the Creator for understanding, because within the letters, the Creator is hiding himself. By reading the letters, scanning the letters, you draw the light to you. The Creator is light. Here you have the pure light, and nowhere else you will find this. Or Pnimi means the inner light, and the comment comes from Yehuda Ashlag. The bolded letters are from Ari, and the text is from Yehuda. Each Hebrew word has strength, and for Yehuda, Ari was his source. The first text. No, before the creatures were created, and creations were created, the singular high light filled the whole reality. There was no free place in the form of empty air and space, though everything was filled with the singular endless light, and there was no beginning or ending. Everything was soul, singular, fully homogeneous light, and the name is endless light, Ein Sof. Before the creation was created, the light filled the whole reality. First, there was only light, endless light, and this light filled everything. Then the light had a thought, the strength for to limit himself. Wherefore? For to create. When everything is light, how can the light create? This is only possible by limitation. First, there has to be the limitation, and then you can do something. This was the first act of the light, and we have to do the same. When you want something, first you have to limit yourself. Then you can go further, but first you have to create some space. This is the first thing we have to do, to make space. Everything what you learn and read about in the Kabbalah has nothing to do with time or place. Everything is spiritual. Don't try to understand. There's absolutely no understanding with your head. In a way, your head is the end. Your head is restricting you, and everything what we are learning in the Kabbalah is the teaching of the endlessness. Because only what is endless can be grasped by way of endless too. Therefore, the head can't come to the understanding of the endless. We need the faith of belief beyond understanding. Then we can come to understanding. It has to go beyond your understanding, beyond your earthly understanding. When a person starts to build up the spiritual within him, we should see around the head an aura. Every person has an aura. Look at the old paintings or other portrayals. This light of the aura has to come within you, and when this happens, already small corrections have taken place. This aura is hanging around the head of every soul, and we have to bring this light to within. This light of this aura has to come within you, and as long as it hasn't entered you, are still sitting in the past. You don't live in the now. Of course, you are trying hard, but only when you make place for this light, the surrounding light. Every person has. Then it can enter you. You have to make place for it to receive this light. But because of your ego, and the ego says to you, be strong, then you say, I am, I. And then the aura, the light says, or the light stays outside you. Each person has this light, the aura around him. It is very thin, and by reading this text and all the spiritual work you do, the surrounding light enters you. The more you let the light come in, the light of the aura will lessen. Why? You already have the light taken in. This is your act of creation, considering yourself. Your aura is floating around you only because you don't let the aura come in. And this is due to your self-love, due to your earthly stubbornness. You don't have place for your true I. The great Kabbalists had the light brought in. They could live in the now. They could experience the Creator. They could speak with the Creator. They don't need to incarnate. They are ready. When they are coming back, it isn't for them. We will learn this too. The aura is yours, but you don't experience it yet. But because of the listening, the reading, step by step, it will be taken in. By way of your spiritual work you are doing right now. Then you two merge together with the light. What is the merging we are talking about? It is the feeling you are together with the Creator. Then there is no awareness of time or place in this world anymore. Ari is speaking to us from this place. The great Yehuda speaks to us from the man who had taken in the whole aura already. And we are people where the aura is hanging outside. We are listening with our aura outside of us, and he is speaking to us from his perspective. That is to say, from the aura that is within already. He was ready. He didn't feel time or place anymore, but could see from there. When you work from within to the outside, meaning you have correct yourself from within, you too can take in the light from the outside. Then we too feel there are no time or places, but only the consciousness of the now. So by reading these texts, your aura will be taken in. Your aura, not the aura of your neighbor or partner. In the spiritual, there are no dilutions, no changes. All the changes we are speaking about doesn't mean the first condition disappears and receives another form. Nothing disappears in the spiritual, and this means when you experience something and later you have another experience, you have to know the first experience is still there. All your experiences always exist. You are changing by way of your spiritual work. You will go forwards, but the first experience still exists. What was before you started always stays in existing. This is in contrary with our earthly thinking. We think when we move a thing, it is gone from the place wherefrom we had taken it away, but not in the spiritual. There is no disappearing in the spiritual. Therefore, when you start to work on yourself, you won't lose a thing. You will receive more extra. Slowly, this thought has to be brought in your heart. Step by step, you have to make place for new thoughts, another pattern of thinking. The first time you're reading this, there will be no understanding at all. But by reading and rereading, and with the wish in your heart, this will help you. Then you too will come to the experience. But you have to remember this. There is no disappearing in the spiritual. All changes are extra. Each experience is very precious, stays forever in existing. You're only adding more and more and more. Nothing disappears. When we talk about changes in the Kabbalah, we mean something has been added. You don't have to be afraid you will lose something of yourself. Every wish, every expectation you have will stay, will always exist. No one can take this away from you. It is the common person who is afraid of something will be taken away from him. Nothing will be taken away from you, only adding, only more and more experiencing. You will come to see the real person who you really are. A new, sixth feeling will come in developing within yourself, a feeling for the spiritual, and no one else can give you this. It wasn't given to you by birth. This is something you have to develop by way of your experiencing. Each one of us has to bring this in developing. Changes in Kabbalah means you have received new additional conditions, but the first original conditions have changed. All the changes and extras, the first original conditions haven't changed. All the changes and extras are only in the material, not in the spiritual. But although we aren't in the spiritual, we can experience certain elements. All your inner movements are like a prototype of the spiritual. It is only embedded with material embeddings. And this is very hard to understand for them who are just starting with the real spiritual work. It is Ari who is warning us. It is hard in the beginning, therefore we have to overcome. A new observation has to grow in ourselves so a new opening can be made. And this new opening gives us the chance to experience in a new way. What was before will now be experienced in another way. First, we are occupied only with techniques and all kinds of terms. This is our limitation in the beginning. We are here in the material world, sitting in time and place, and this we have to overcome. You have to know, a Kabbalist is talking about the spiritual, but he uses earthly terms, but they are only symbols. They are clues from above, from the spiritual roots. All words we use like Abraham did this and that, the speaking about Jews. When we hear the word Jew, we think about the Jewish people living in our world, but the Torah doesn't speak about these earthly Jews. Also, the New Testament doesn't speak about persons in flesh and blood, only about spiritual ideas. It is you who has to come to the understanding. You have to find the meaning behind the words. The light comes, the light descends, but the light never moves. It isn't about your religion, not the religion you have been growing up with. This only limits you. You have to come to faith by way of understanding, by way of experience. Only then the light can enter you. Try to experience every sentence you read. Read again, read slowly, and feel. Experience the words deep from within. You have to work hard. Again and again you have to work very hard. Try to come to understanding. And the doing. Every effort you give gives you extra light. Read the concepts, reread them, then you will come to understanding. This is learning. Don't go further if you haven't come to the understanding of the first text. Repeat the names, the words, let them enter you. Why? This is the building up of your kelim. This is the forming within you of new awareness, organs. And this will happen by rereading the text again and again. Be patient. This is very special.